Hello everybody, it's your boy Helix, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use this magical portal of green called a green screen, and we're going to be using it in OBS just like the last video. So let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, I'm just going to minimize this so I can show you how we're doing this. Okay, so in the last video, I showed you with OBS Streamlabs how to add your game capture, your display capture, your webcam, and your microphone for a basic stream setup. Now, in your overlays that you can use like a basic screen-bound square around your webcam if you want. But if you're like me and you want to use a green screen, then we don't want any of that. We just want the green screen and we want everything gone. Okay, so to do that, we will come back into our sources, and we're just only dealing with our webcam this time around. So we'll come down the webcam, and the one thing you want to check, go to properties and make sure that your webcam is shooting in the correct resolution that you want. This is important because you want the best quality, but that's basically you just want the best quality. So I realized this after a couple of streams. I was streaming and my webcam was in the right resolution, so the gameplay looked pretty nice, but I was like a fuzzy teddy bear. Essentially, that's what happened. So just make sure that you're shooting in the right resolution, and then all your other FPS video format that will stay on your default. Okay, so now to actually get rid of this behind us. Okay, so I'm going to expand this just a teensy bit so you can see a little bit better. But we'll come back down the webcam, but instead of going to properties, we will go up to filters. And when we go to filters, there will be no filters applied at all. So let's add a filter. We'll come down, filter type, click that drop down menu, and the filter that deals with a green screen is chroma key. So when we add this, it will immediately detect green. Now, if you're using like a blue or a magenta, those screens do exist, but green is the easiest color for a camera to pick up. That's why it defaults to green. So when we click done, it will immediately, screen bound that out. So I'm going to pull that up. I didn't realize that my face was still going to be in it. I apologize. So it will immediately screen bound to this green, which is fantastic. That's what we want. Now, a few things when you're in chroma key. Similarity, this is used to draw out that green or fade away that green. I can show you by if I went down all the way, green screen's back. And if you go all the way, nothing's here. So you want to find a happy medium, and you can see this because it starts to fade as you go one direction or the other. It usually defaults on 400 or defaults to its best detection on itself. It auto resolutes for you, but 400 is what my base was. Now you may get a little bit of like screen fuzziness near the corners of your green screen or whatever you may be using. And you can mess with that just a little bit with your contrast, your brightness, and your gamma. And I mean, right now mine's pretty good as it is. But if you wanted to bring out a little bit more color, that kind of fades away that grainy effect back there. Or if you're like me and you like a little bit of the darker color, then you just kind of leave it the way it is, and then you further correct it in your color correction, which is another filter that we're going to add on after this. So after you're done with that, these settings are fine. They're saved now. Now we'll click the addition sign again, and we'll pull up the color correction filter. Now this will add another layer for your camera. This is just for the camera. The chroma key is just for the green screen. Think of it that way. Color correction for the camera, and then chroma key for your green screen. Okay, and this you can further adjust. It kind of focuses more on you more than your background, I want to say. So like me, I add a little bit more saturation, a little less brightness, but sometimes a little brightness is good. And this may also change on what you're wearing. So like if I were to wear a green t-shirt, you would have a head floating around on your stream. So you don't want that. Unless that's your thing. Unless that's your thing to be a floating head on your stream, go for it. But I suggest that you plan ahead before you stream. So just, I know, it's just a little thing, but it's there. Alright, and you can mess around with these and see what you like, what's your prerogative. That's cool. But this works for me. I just wanted to show you this so you know that there's more that you can do to work around the fuzziness or like the blur, so to speak. Okay. After we have our chroma key and our color correction, the next thing that we're gonna do, if your room is like mine where the green screen isn't huge, because my green screen's just one that I ordered off of Amazon for 40 bucks. It's a collapsible one, and it also has a blue back. So, I mean, that works for me. My office space is pretty small, and I don't really... If I had a huge green screen, it would be the majority of the room. This works for me. It goes up on a stand, folds down. Okay. But the last thing that you do want to add in, if you have this similar problem like me, you may not, so you may not need this, is the crop pad. And this just works like any picture you have ever edited on any social media ever. You have your left bound, your right bound, your top, bottom. So for everyone it's probably going to be different, but for me I think it's like 220 on one side, but I have a little bit of clipping down there on that side, so I may go to 225 or 230, straight 230. 230 works. And then on my right side's farther than my left on where my camera position is on my monitor, so it might be 340. That works for me. And now we should have a good old face cam without a green screen. And I know my desk corner is just long enough to still be in the shot because I have an L desk. So, but for me, I don't move around a whole lot, so I just kind of just drag it off the screen, and it doesn't matter because my resolution still stays there, and voila, it looks fantastic. Just, if you do move around a lot, just know that you're going to look like a stubby person, a very stubby person without arms. Just, so, just don't be sporadic if you have to end up doing it like me, like this. So, just like your game capture in the same way, just make sure your webcam's on top, and then your green screen's basically set up. Now, if you want to do something even further, like say you want to just use like a background, like you're just chatting on stream, or you're making an intro for like a YouTube video, like I do this a lot, you can make a background and put your face cam over it. So to do that, all you have to do is add a new scene. I've already added one, but all you would have to do is add a new scene and then click new scene. And then you would go to that new scene and then come over to sources, and then you would click on the plus and then go to image, and then you would add a source, and then it'll have you browse for a source, and then this is what I'm using. I'm using a hex little background thing, and then add source. So now I have 2 copies of that. I don't need 2 copies of that, so I'm gonna remove one. But that's the background that we want to use, and it's in our screen bound, so that's perfect. So we'll come back up to the stream or YouTube tab that you are using, and then you'll come over to the addition sign, and then we'll come in and add a scene, and it will use existing scenes. So we have an existing scene, it's called background, obviously, and then we add that source, and then it's going to come to the top of our layer, so make sure you want to pull your webcam back over top of it, and then drag to wherever you want to be. I know that I kind of like to keep my desk out of it, or whenever I'm making an intro, I lean on it, but that's just me. And then boom, you have a background. You have a background for like just chatting. You could keep your overlays anywhere, and overlays would be my next video that I'm going to talk about, but I just wanted to go step by step by step so you can build and build and build, so your stream will eventually look something like what my stream would look like. towards the end of the tutorial series, I guess I would call this. But yeah, these are the basic steps to adding a green screen. It's very simple once you learn how to do it, and mostly it's just setting up your green screen somewhere in your room where it's gonna work for you. I know sometimes corners of your room are probably your best bet, but like if you're me, my green screen's on a stand behind me because my desk is in the corner, so it's kind of like open room green screen. But yeah, you get the gist of it. But yeah, I hope this video helped a whole lot of you, and if it did, leaving a like, comment, and subscribe really helps me out, helps everyone else out who hasn't seen a video like this and needs help as well. And yeah, thanks a whole lot, everybody. See you in the next one.